Welcome back to the Tasty Taco Show. Today, I'm going to respond to someone who disagreed with me on Twitter. Okay, so I tweeted out, to Humira users, inflammation is acquired mainly through a poor diet. I would love to show you why food is the ultimate medicine. Check out healthyskincoach.co if you want to learn more. And someone tweeted back, no, it's not. Psoriasis is caused by an overactive immune system, which I agree with, triggered by a traumatic event, which I partly agree with. A traumatic event can cause too much inflammation in the body because it turns on your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight response. And that response becomes dominant. It means you're in fight mode all the time. And that signals your adrenal glands to produce more cortisol, and it won't turn off. So your body's just producing cortisol because you experience this traumatic event, you're stressed constantly, and that's causing chronic inflammation in the body, which can cause your immune system to overreact and psoriasis to show up. And she continues, it's triggered by a traumatic event and never turned back off again, which I talked about, leaving a person with continuous inflammation, chronic inflammation like I talked about. I tried everything in my life. Humira and methotrexate are the only two things that gave me my life back. Truth. This person is using her own life experience to disagree with me, where I say food is causing majority of the inflammation in people. So I can totally see where she's coming from. I also agree with her because a traumatic event causes stress, which causes chronic inflammation, which then causes psoriasis. But I also know what I said is factually correct because a poor diet can also cause inflammation in the body, and with too much inflammation, your immune system starts overreacting and you start seeing psoriasis or eczema in your skin. Now, Humira is the best-selling drug year after year, and in 2018 it sold about $20 billion worth. In the next in line, Eliquis, only sold half that, $10 billion. And its main indication is used for rheumatoid arthritis, but it's used in psoriasis as well, in a lot of these autoimmune diseases where there's too much inflammation in the body and the immune system starts overreacting. You're seeing so many symptoms, whether that's in the skin, in the joints, in the muscles, in the tissues. There's so many medical conditions that result from too much inflammation. Now, I described in my previous videos that Humira is a drug that blocks TNF, tumor necrosis factor, which is a signaling protein. It's in the cytokine family that signals your body to create inflammation in the body based on certain triggers. So I will share with you the science behind why food can cause inflammation, as well as why a traumatic event like what she described can cause that chronic inflammation. So in this research article, it says, when an antigen enters the body, so when inflammatory foods enter the body and the body interprets this junk food as an antigen or a foreign invader, local activation of immune cells leads to release of pro-inflammatory mediators, one of them being the tumor necrosis factor, TNF, which Humira blocks in order to reduce that inflammation. So, if the spillover of local inflammatory mediators into the blood circulation is robust enough, it signals the brain, resulting in activation of two major stress axes, one of them being the sympathetic nervous system, like I described, which is your fight or flight response. So cytokines like the tumor necrosis factor are pivotal in the communication from immune system to central nervous system. So when she experienced that traumatic event, her sympathetic nervous system was activated, causing her a lot of stress and inflammation in the body, and causing her body to release more tumor necrosis factor, which is the inflammatory cytokines. which ultimately caused her to have psoriasis. And lastly, in a study with hypertensive patients, central inhibition of the sympathetic nervous system decreased TNF levels. So this means if you can calm that fight response, you can gradually decrease the TNF levels, which is the mechanism of action behind Humira, which is the best-selling drug like I described. So you know by now that I preach to the world the importance of functional medicine and why food is the ultimate medicine. So you're asking, how does she decrease TNF levels to start healing her psoriasis without taking Humira? Well, I'll give you one great food that I eat every day in order to lower my inflammation levels, and that is curcumin. So curcumin, which is found in turmeric, is an orally bioavailable blocker of TNF and other pro-inflammatory biomarkers. Humira blocks TNF. Curcumin, which is found in turmeric, also blocks TNF. So I prefer the natural method of using food as medicine, and most people rely on doctors and prescription drugs to reduce TNF levels. So as you can see in this report, Humira is a TNF alpha antibody. It blocks TNF. And these TNF blockers just rake in so much money, up to $20 billion a year. The drug is expensive, from $15,000 to $20,000 per person per year. And these drugs have enough adverse effects to be given a black label warning by the FDA. In this current report, we describe an alternative, curcumin, which is in turmeric, that is very inexpensive, orally bioavailable, and highly safe in humans, yet can block TNF-alpha action and production in animal models and in humans. Out of the millions of people using Humira to treat their inflammatory diseases, my guess is that it's a very low percent of them are eating turmeric every single day in order to use food as the ultimate medicine. And they're relying on this drug, unfortunately. And part of that is you just need education. You need to have this specialized knowledge in order to start healing. And most people don't. That's why my goal is to educate you and preach to the world why food is the ultimate medicine. If you need help with your skin, with your acne, eczema, psoriasis, or if you have inflammatory diseases and you've never seen a nutritionist, you can hit me up at healthyskincoach.co, and I'll do my best to share the science behind your condition and what foods you can take in order to start relieving your symptoms. Alright, thank you for watching. As always, Taco is out.